You are not cutting 2 trillion spending without making a lot of enemies. So don't just think Tesla stock is going to go up. Elon is the second king of the world, or maybe even the first. While this may all be true, it is not going to be a smooth ride. So just buckle up, know your priorities, know your investment horizon, know your options if you're Alexander. Don't expect this to be just a smooth ride. Lots of people are currently angry and they're still powerful. It's not because other people became more powerful that these people don't have the leverages that they have.
Okay, let's get to audience questions here. So Eric McFarlane asks, given President Trump's only has 4 years, will Tesla accelerate Optimus and RoboTaxi? CERN, you're the bot bull. What do you think? You're on mute. There, go ahead.
Yeah, my perspective on that, Herbert, is that Optimus and RoboTaxi were coming within this 4-year period anyway. Certainly some of the regulatory hurdles that Tesla may have faced may be accelerated forward. Maybe they can jump over some of those hurdles a lot easier, potentially. The challenge they have if they accelerate RoboTaxi is the one of legal liability. If RoboTaxi isn't at the place that it needs to be absolutely safe and minimize the number of accidents, then Tesla is going to have a challenge with that. So by accelerating that too quickly, then they're just increasing the amount of legal liability that they potentially might face.
Tesla Strong asks, what year, based off fundamentals, do you think Tesla will reach $1,000 per share? We're all going to just guess here. I don't give these stock predictions, but who wants to take a step? Throw the dart. Who wants to do it?
Best case 2026, more safe bet 2029.
Okay. She's the only brave, courageous person here. All right. Next question. Rich Palmisanos asks, would it be a stretch to think that Elon would not be consulted in relations or discussion with China and trade, since he has a solid foundation there?
There's one thing is whether he will be a part of official negotiations. Of course, he will not. There's no way that Elon is going to be sitting at that negotiation table and still have his major CEO role and member of the board in Tesla. I can't fathom that. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the whisper role that I think he's going to have. I really do think he's going to pull the strings because President Trump gave him so much praise and leverage that he just has this role now. So he will be solicited from all sides to bring ideas forward, to have his thumb on the scale. And that doesn't mean he will be officially a consultant or sitting on the table when they are negotiating and signing trade deals.
Tesla is going to win based on its ability to make great products, produce them at low cost, consistently over a long period of time. And a lot of the government involvement, I think, in many areas prop up other companies that maybe wouldn't survive. EV charging, with the money that was dedicated towards that, on paper, Tesla probably should have received almost all of those funds. And instead, based on some other ideas of spreading some of the money around, a lot more money was put into charging infrastructure that was much more expensive than what Tesla could have built it for. And to the extent we can get rid of some of those kinds of behaviors, I think that's great. To the extent we can get rid of all those shenanigans, it's better for everybody.
I think there's a cheat code out there for this, and I don't think a lot of people are seeing it. And what that is, the demand for energy is going up immensely, especially with AI data centers and everything that we're trying to do in our lives. If there wasn't that huge increase in demand on energy, then you could see finite resources fighting for supply, and therefore winners, people trying to pick early winners and losers. But we need so much more energy to power what we're building in the future. I think the cheat code is, and what a lot of people are missing, is that we're going to build multiple forms of energy. This new president coming in wants it built here. So I'm not going to give you specific names or tickers, but I think if you're selling U.S. forms of energy generation, whether they're clean and newer technology or older, I think you're going to be off sides. If you're selling battery storage because you think IRA credits are going away, I think you're off sides. By the way, where are a lot of these things being built? they're being built in red states. Okay, if you look at the latest battery factories that have been built, they're all being built in red states. And this Congress I think is going to be pretty close from an election perspective. If it's a 20-seat majority, maybe you're having a different conversation. But I don't think the majority is going to be that high. And I think that is a factor in trying to get some of this legislation through. So I think on the energy generation and storage side, I don't think you're going to get a bill from Congress that says we want to close domestic battery storage. We want to close all these factories that we're building, whether they're going for vehicles or they're going for stationary storage. We just want to stop all this funding. And no, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, on the point of sale side, where it says we're directing you to buy this over this, you may get there may be definitely some movement there. But here comes Tesla with their lower portfolio of vehicles coming in over the following year. And by the way, even with or without those credits, if you look at how the Cybertruck was selling relative to these other vehicles, it was a $120,000 vehicle.
I agree with CERN. I think we're moving into an AI era, and that's actually also giving me some comfort. I think we're going to get into that topic later when people say IRA, will the IRA be canceled or whatever? It doesn't matter. With a $25,000 car and with a RoboTaxi FSD model, Tesla is the only one ready for whatever comes. Yes, this is highly deserved. This was highly deserved months ago, right? It being at 300 now, I think we are actually at 300. I get a lot of messages. Congratulations, we're back at 300. But I just want to point out, this is nothing yet, right? It's beautiful. If you still need to buy, continue buying, but this is nothing yet. Keep on going.
Okay. And then what about you, Jeff?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, I definitely think we're entering an era, but it's really honestly because of the work and the portfolio that the Tesla team has. And we will talk about the political landscape in a minute. You can see how the markets are responding to the election. And if you have a 401k or you hold individual stocks, you can see how the market is responding. I think Tesla built this portfolio literally over the last decade. If you think about the building blocks of this portfolio, getting that inference silicon chip team started many years ago, getting the software efforts built up many years ago, the battery efforts, the supercharging efforts, everything's building for this moment. And as we enter into this new administration, I know people think things are going to be cut and dry, but it's actually not. I think we're going to be surprised. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a focus on investing in new technology and technology that'll put the U.S. in a leadership position and also protect itself. You're going to see this. We're definitely moving from this globalization and supply chains to localization. And that has a lot of implications for Tesla because that's actually how they've established themselves and built up their company over the last year and how they structured themselves. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So I had a space yesterday and I was talking to a few people, and both of them said that we think that this is just a sugar high, that this jump to $300 is just because of the excitement about the potential new economy with the presidential election, but that there's no actual fundamentals that's holding us back, that it's more likely that the stock will fall down to under 270 than it is to go past 300. What do each of you think about that? Do you think that this is a fundamental analysis by folks, not just the dreaming of a potential that can happen? Or do you think that it still has the chance that it can continue to fall just as quickly as it went up?
I'm not a good predictor of stock prices, but I can tell you one thing. The last 3 years have been depressed for a couple of reasons, including obviously higher interest rates, but also whenever there was a possibility to smash and trash Elon or Tesla, there we were. So I do believe now the mood has clearly turned. First of all, we're obviously 3 years ahead of time. We've had a RoboTaxi day. The more general public has understood what's up and what's coming. And the fundamentals are just so strong, both in financials of Tesla and in advancement on all those milestones to come. In the next 6 months, we'll see new Tesla models produced, at least in Austin. I think they're actually going to be produced in multiple sites. We're going to have the unsupervised FSD in California and in Texas. I think with the new administration, the chances of having a federal acceptance of FSD is much more likely than it ever was. I think lawfare, which has slowed down Elon and Tesla in particular over the years, I think we're going to get into that point, has been so exaggerated that it is time this is ending, and it has ended. It has actually already ended yesterday. The signals are clearly much stronger. Can we go down to 270? Of course, that's a 10% swing in the stock price. People that look at stock prices on a day-to-day basis for options or for trading or whatever it is, they probably will be unhappy or happy with a Tesla stock as with any other stock. But people that are here for the long game, people that see this vision of what's coming up with Tesla, and we're getting so close. In 2 to 3 years, this future is here everywhere in the United States and probably also in many other countries in the world. Given all these milestones that are either now done or very close to being accomplished, of course it can go 10%, but it can also go up 30 to 40%.